I'm just going to talk about Transferwise and what they're doing really well in terms of how they communicate what they do. And I'll also look at some other examples. So just jumping straight in, just in terms of fintech in general, because you're doing something really new with people's money, trust is your very good friend. And so when you're communicating what you do, it's really important to try and create that trust with folks. And so Transferwise, funnily enough, actually dedicates 80% of their homepage to creating trust. Let's have a look. So this is kind of front and center of what they do, and they talk about being trusted all over the world. And what's really interesting is that they put these real-time transactions front and center, and they show you kind of what's going on all the time. And what this does is it creates trust, but it also shows how often the service is being used. It shows how popular it is, and people tend to kind of simmer down with their fear and their anxiety, and they feel like they can use the service. They also bring in things like Trustpilot, so talking about their 5 out of 5 star rating and their 37,500 odd reviews on Trustpilot. And this really starts to engender this kind of trust with you and make you feel, okay, cool, these guys aren't a fly-by-night fintech outfit. They're also talking about knowing where your money always is. And so they talk about you being updated via email all the time. And so it'll say, money's left your bank account, it's gone to Singapore, it's gone onto the dark web. No, just kidding. And so, it's really good at kind of showing you what's going on all the time. They also talk about their award-winning mobile apps, and their website, and that's really to kind of settle you down and make you feel that this is okay. And what they also do is they promote a what their customers say space, and this is really where we kind of jump in as a company, and what we try and do is really put forward the customer voice and listen to the customer and think about customer strategies and what they want. And so this on their site is a lovely video of this woman jumping for joy and telling the whole world how Transferwise has kind of changed her life and how she can sleep at night. What on the other side of this, what we see is that when fintech companies are really trying to get their product to market really quickly, what they do is they act like their own worst enemy, and they think, oh, I need to be the first to market, so let me just run and jump and get all this stuff out there without thinking about what they really do and their voice. And so you end up with something like this, which is BitTaser. These guys do a lot of money transfers in Africa, and this is their homepage. It's the most confusing homepage I've ever seen. It's got about 8 or 9 different colors, massively confusing background. If you don't know what that currency is, you have no idea what's going on there. And on their homepage, this is the best. It's would you recommend this to other folks? And the first thing I see is not likely. So yeah, I'm not likely to recommend BitTaser, unfortunately. And so what they need to do is just give this a bit more thought, right? Make this a bit more simple. Everybody thinks that because something's simple, it's stupid. Actually, in simplicity is complexity. So we need to think about this kind of thing. And then just another thing on messaging. Who here knows Mace Windu? Yeah, crickets. Who here knows Darth Vader? Exactly, right? So the whole point of Star Wars episodes 4 to 6 was about Darth Vader. And so Luke Skywalker is actually the hero, but his whole hero thing comes out of defeating Darth Vader, right? So with fintech, what we actually need to do is create an enemy in order for our service to shine. Okay, and so what Transferwise is, it does exactly this, right? It says banks and other providers could charge you up to 5% in hidden costs when sending money abroad. Boo. Boo, Darth Vader. And then what Transferwise says is Transferwise is up to 8 times cheaper. It's only fair. And then what it does is it then goes on to the whole trust thing. So it says, when you send £1,000 pounds, you'll get out 1,000. It'll create that many euros. And so what it does is it's creating the enemy, then it creates the hero, and then it creates trust. And what you find is that's an incredibly powerful way of putting your message across and engendering people to your cause. And then lastly, one other really important thing to do is is contribute to a movement or create a movement. And what we're seeing with a company like iZettle is they created a 12-hour store. Now, what this 12-hour store was a pop-up space where entrepreneurs could come in, set up their store for 12 hours, and transact using iZettle. And that created a lot of chatter and a lot of kind of goodwill amongst entrepreneurs, because then they could see this kind of thing in action. And also consumers could see that too. So it's really important to get people to start using your product, and that way you'll have a much more successful product. Okay, so key takeaways. Trust is your very good friend, okay? You need to create an enemy in order to create a hero. Don't be your own worst enemy. So it's not about moving first, it's about moving best. And then last but not least, contribute or start a movement. Thank you.